time for Brother Omowale to report on the report back on the community ALD with questions and answers. I'm going to give, if you don't mind, Brother Omowale, about 5 minutes for this.
Oh, come on, people!
Order! One voice!
10.
Let me say warmest greetings, sisters and brothers. Warmest greetings, sisters and brothers. Thank you for the response. Thank you for the response. My task here, African Liberation Day, as given to us by our ancestors and our living ancestors. We have a living ancestor in this room with us right now, who was there, who can tell us what happened. One of the things that's written in the Charter is that we must each year report back on how we are progressing in terms of the achievement of African liberation. One of the sad things is that the report backs that we make are not up to the standard that they should be. That we should be far, far, far in advance of where we are now. That says something about our generation and how we have taken on the mantle of African liberation. I spoke to a sister recently who said it may also speak to the issue of how our ancestors handed the baton on to us. But somewhere we see that there are problems, and one of the problems perhaps is that we are not, all of us, in organisation. So the first thing that I'm going to ask sisters and brothers to do is that if you are not in an organisation which is focused on the achievement of African liberation, we ask you to join the Pan-African Society Community Forum. I ask you to please come and speak to me. I'm the secretary of the Pan-African Society Community Forum. I ask you to please come and speak to me afterwards, so that we can join you up as a member of the Pan-African Society Community Forum. There are a number of things that I've got to do, and Chair, I'm going to ask for your indulgence here because these are important things that have got to be done in terms of a report back. The first is to say that this meeting is the official launch of the Buju Banton support campaign here in Britain. This is a serious thing. There isn't time to go into the details, but I can tell you that Buju Banton himself has endorsed what I am saying to you. This meeting, the Pan-African Society Community Forum, is the foundation of the Buju Banton support campaign in Britain. Anybody want to argue with Buju Banton himself?
Can I ask can I just ask you just a brief outline on...
Well, if there are going to be questions, I haven't got time because my time is truncated. I'll take questions afterwards or we can speak directly.
Sorry, brother. You are assuming you don't know who Buju Banton is.
Okay.
Who is Buju Banton?
Yes, I am assuming. Buju Banton is one of our imprisoned cultural leaders.
Excuse me?
He is a reggae artist. He is a reggae artist. He has been incarcerated. He has been incarcerated in prison in US Satan. He was set up by the FBI/CIA. We've got plenty of evidence now to show that he was set up and put in prison allegedly for dealing in drugs, and we know now that particular people were assigned to him for that purpose. Anyway, we will deal with that issue more thoroughly. For anybody who's interested to know the facts, we will deal with that subject more thoroughly. We also announced today, of course, that we, incidentally, we operate under the leadership of the Buju Banton Support Campaign Committee, which is based in US Satan. So that's the leadership. So we are the leaders of the campaign, but we are the focal point of the campaign here in the UK.
That's nice.
In our work, we also campaign for another political prisoner by the name of Mumia Abu Jamal. Mumia Abu Jamal was a former Black Panther. He was a journalist, a people's journalist. He was wrongfully arrested and incarcerated and put on death row. We were part of that campaign that caused him to be removed from death row. That was a great victory, but the victory is not complete. You can see here, we're still saying that Mumia Abu Jamal must be free. We operate under the leadership of the international families and friends of Mumia Abu Jamal. The leadership there is the people that we know as MOVE. So we acknowledge them as our leaders in this campaign. Let me also say another area of our work in terms of campaigning is deaths in custody. And we support our leadership in the deaths in custody area is the United Families and Friends campaign. There are great things happening in that campaign at the moment. There just isn't time for me to report back on all of the details, but one of the things that's happening is that IPCC, the so-called Independent Police Complaints Commission, is now being exposed for the farce that it is. That in the case of Sean Rigg, for instance, who was savagely murdered in Brixton Police Station, just about a mile away from where we are, it's now being shown, and a report has actually been published and is online, where the state is now forced to admit that its IPCC did not do a correct investigation. In fact, it was a whitewash in the literal sense, whitewash of an investigation that they committed. And now the whole investigation is having to be done over again. One of the potential outcomes of what's happening will be the abolition of the IPCC. That's a potential outcome somewhere down the road. So let me say, we also, in terms of deaths in custody, are working on establishing and developing a European-wide network of African families who have had their loved ones murdered in custody. The worldwide campaign actually has the title, the name of it is called Vivole, which translated into English means stolen lives. It's the Stolen Lives campaign. So the United Families and Friends campaign is is our leadership locally, and the Stolen Lives campaign is our leadership Europe and worldwide. Let me also say that we also are engaged in reparations work. We take as our leadership in the area of reparations the Global African Congress. We also operate as Haiti First, Haiti Now reparations campaign. Our leadership there is the BAI, the Bureau des Avocats International. That's the International Bureau of Lawyers, based in Haiti. The leading lawyer in there, managing lawyer, is Mario Joseph, who we have brought over previously for an African Liberation Day event. We've had a report back on the Pan-African Society Community Forum going into Europe. We were invited to the European Parliament on the issue of reparations, on the issue of establishing a day continental-wide across the whole of Europe to acknowledge the victims of slavery and colonialism. That's us. Yeah, that's us. Now, there's the debate that's going on at the moment, and I have to report back on this, Chair. The debate that is going on at the moment is which day should we have? Which is the day that we should choose for this day for the commemoration of the victims of slavery and colonialism? Now, in the European Parliament, a European came up with the idea that it should be the day when Columbus discovered I don't need to say more, do I? Yeah? We had to drop some licks in his neck back. We can't go into the detail, but that day is completely out the window. Society Community Forum put forward in that discussion is the 18th of November. Why did we choose that date? We chose that date because the 18th of November is the day of the Battle of Vertier. Some may be asking, what was the Battle of Vertier? The Battle of Vertier in 1803 was the final battle in the victory for the liberation of our ancestors in Haiti. That was the final victory. And after that victory, we went on to declare our independence on the 1st of January 1804. We believe that this is the correct date to apply. And why is it the correct date? Because when that date goes across Europe, the history has to be explained along with the date. And it will show that our people were victorious. And it's important for our children and other people's children to see that our people were victorious. And slavery was defeated because of our efforts. This is important. And this is why the Pan-African Society Community Forum will put forward that date. The last campaign that I'm going to mention, there's still a few more things that are very important to mention. I beg your indulgence, Chair. I beg your indulgence, yeah? It was supposed to be 30 minutes, but it's been truncated because obviously we have to give appropriate time to our elder, and so we defer to our elder, obviously. This year is part of the commemoration of 100 years of Marcus Garvey in the UK. Marcus Garvey was here from 1912 until 1914. And as far as I can tell, the Pan-African Society Community Forum are the only organisation that are actually commemorating that. It's a surprise to us. But we have produced this brochure which gives a summary of the history of Marcus Garvey here in the UK. The brochures are available for £3 each. They're at the back. They're available for £3 each. You can buy 4 for £10. Many people have bought them as gifts to give to their children as a kind of introduction to Marcus Garvey and some of his experiences here in the UK. We encourage you to buy this book or this brochure. It's a commemorative brochure, and actually £3 is not a great deal of money, especially for the information that's in there. Another part of what we do is around education. Our elder rightly pointed out how we have to liberate our minds. And part of that is putting on events, and we put on these kinds of events. You're experiencing one right now. We're under the leadership of African Heritage. We are part of the organising committee of the African Heritage Festival. I won't say any more because it was already mentioned just before I came up, but we encourage every single organisation in the UK to sign up to become a part of that festival. You see, when we're going to go in and we're going to negotiate with this Boris Johnson character. Yeah, we're going to go in. Yeah, and we are going to go in and we're going to say to them, look at the list of organisations that are supported. And when we show him the list of 100 organisations, in fact we're almost at 100 already. Yeah? When we show him the list of 100 organisations plus, it should be at least 120 by the time we get there. If your organisation is not on there, put your organisation on there, please. Yeah? When we go in, we're going to put him under some heavy manners. Some heavy manners. We're not going to go and talk to him like boy. We're going to give him some heavy manners when we talk to him. And that square, Trafalgar Square, is going to